The lion cannot protect himself from traps, and the fox cannot defend himself from wolves. One must therefore be a fox to recognize traps and a lion to frighten wolves. But Machiavelli never told you the darkest truth. What if the trap is your own desire? You wake up wanting. You go to bed wanting more. Between those moments, you call it living. But Schopenhauer saw through your lie. He watched you run on a wheel you built yourself, chasing cheese that turns to ash the moment you taste it. This isn't about philosophy. This is about why everything you want is designed to hurt you. Right now, you're probably wanting something. A person, a promotion, a life that looks nothing like the one you're living. You think getting it will complete you. But here's what nobody tells you. That feeling of wanting, it's not a bug, it's the feature. And once you see this, you'll understand why every victory feels empty, why every achievement demands another, and why the happiest people you know are often the ones who stop playing. They smile at your ambition, but their eyes, they're watching you drown in your own hunger. You've been taught that desire drives success, that wanting more makes you better, that satisfaction is just one goal away. They lied. Not because they're cruel, but because they're drowning too. The game isn't rigged against you. The game is the rigging. And Schopenhauer, he saw it 200 years before you were born. But here's where it gets dark. You don't just want things. You want to want. Remove all your desires tomorrow, every single one, and watch what happens. That emptiness you feel, that's not peace, that's withdrawal. You're not addicted to success or love or money. You're addicted to the wanting itself. And that addiction, it's killing you so slowly, you call it living. Think about your last major achievement. Remember that moment you got what you wanted? How long did the satisfaction last? A day? A week? Before the emptiness crept back in, before you needed something new to chase. You didn't fail. The system worked perfectly. You're a fox who keeps walking into the same trap, convinced this time the cheese will satisfy. What I'm about to tell you might make you angry. Schopenhauer wasn't pessimistic. He was precise. He watched humans the way a scientist watches lab rats. Same patterns, same loops, same beautiful suffering. You press the lever, you get the reward. The reward fades, you press harder. The only difference between you and the rat doesn't call it purpose. Every motivational speaker, every success guru, every person telling you to dream bigger, they're drug dealers. And desire, that's their product. They don't sell achievement, they sell the high of wanting. Because a satisfied customer stops buying, but an addicted one, they'll chase that dragon until they die. But Machiavelli taught us something else. Knowing the trap doesn't mean avoiding it. It means choosing when to spring it. And that choice, that's where power lives. Here's the part that changes everything. You ready? Your suffering isn't random, it's mathematical. Schopenhauer called it the will, this blind driving force that moves through everything. You feel it as desire, but it's older than feeling. It's the same force that makes the flower turn towards sun, makes the wolf hunt, makes you scroll through your phone at 2 a.m., looking for something you can't name. You're not broken, you're perfectly designed to want, to suffer, to want again. The machine is working exactly as intended. But once you see the machine, once you really see it, something shifts. Remember when Machiavelli said it's better to be feared than loved? He was talking about external power. But Schopenhauer, he's talking about the tyrant inside you. The one that whispers, just one more, just this next thing, then you'll be happy. That tyrant has ruled you since birth. Every commercial you've seen, every story you've been told, every dream you've been sold, they all serve the same master. Keep you wanting, keep you moving, keep you believing the next desire will be different. The truth is worse than you think. You know that friend who seems genuinely content? The one who doesn't need the latest anything, doesn't chase every opportunity, doesn't live in tomorrow? You probably think they're missing out. But watch closer. They've done something most people can't. They've called the tyrant's bluff. They still feel desire, but they don't obey it. They see the trap and choose not to step in. Not from weakness, but from a strength so quiet it looks like surrender. This connects to something darker. Every spiritual tradition knew this secret. Buddha called it the root of suffering. The Stoics called it the disease of wanting. Even Christ said the meek inherit the earth, but they wrapped it in metaphor because the raw truth breaks people. You're not ascending to enlightenment. You're learning to see the prison you've been decorating. And here's what really hurts. You already know this. Deep down beneath the noise of your wanting, you've always known. Every time you got what you wanted and felt that hollow echo where satisfaction should be. Every time you achieved the goal and immediately needed another. Every time happiness slipped through your fingers like water, you knew. You just couldn't afford to know. But knowing isn't enough. That's the cruel joke. You can understand the trap perfectly and still walk into it. Because understanding lives in your head, but desire? Desire lives in your bones. It's older than your thoughts, stronger than your will. It's the current beneath every choice you think you're making. So what do? Give up? Become a monk? Stop wanting anything? No, that's just another trap. The desire to not desire. The wanting to stop wanting. You're playing the game even when you're trying to quit. Schopenhauer offered something different. Not escape, but clarity. Not victory, but vision. You learn to see the strings even while you dance. You feel the pull of desire, but choose your response. You become the fox who recognizes the trap and the lion who isn't ruled by hunger. This isn't about becoming emotionless. It's about becoming sovereign over your emotions. There's a difference, and it's how rulers survive their own hearts. Hold that thought, because what comes next changes everything. You've been taught that happiness is about getting what you want. But what if happiness is about wanting what you already have? Not in some grateful, positive thinking way, but in the deep recognition that the chase itself is the trap. Watch what happens when you flip the script. Instead of, I'll be happy when, try, I'm happy, but feel the difference. One enslaves you to tomorrow, the other frees you for today. One makes you a beggar, the other makes you a king. But kings know something beggars don't. Sometimes you have to play the game even when you see through it. Your boss still expects ambition. Your family still needs provision. Society still demands you perform desire. So you perform. But now it's strategy, not slavery. You smile at their games. But your eyes? They're watching from a distance. That's only half the story. The real revelation isn't that desire causes suffering. It's that suffering shapes identity. You are, in a very real sense, what you want. Remove your desires and you don't find your true self. You find a stranger. This is why letting go feels like dying. Because in a way, it is. Every desire you release kills a version of you. The you that needed that promotion. The you that craved that validation. The you that believed happiness lived in tomorrow. They all have to die for something new to be born. And most people, they'd rather suffer than face that cemetery. But here's what nobody tells you. On the other side of that death, freedom. Not the freedom to have everything, but the freedom from needing anything. You still act, you still achieve, you still engage with life. But now you're playing with house money. Win or lose, you're already whole. This is what Schopenhauer saw that made him laugh at your life choices. Not because they were wrong, but because they were unnecessary. Like watching someone carry water to the ocean. Like watching someone search for their glasses while wearing them. You're not becoming evil. You're just done being prey. To your own desires, to other people's agendas, to the voice that says, you're not enough yet. That voice was never yours anyway. You inherited it, absorbed it, made it sound like wisdom when it was really just fear in a suit. Time for the real question. What would you do if you didn't need anything from anyone? Not want, need. There's a difference, and it's the difference between power and performance. When you need, you negotiate from weakness. When you want, you choose from strength. When you need nothing, you become dangerous in the most beautiful way. Because a person who needs nothing can't be bought, can't be manipulated, can't be controlled by promises of more. They might engage, might play, might even seem to want. But underneath, they're sovereign. They've found what Machiavelli only glimpsed. The ultimate power isn't controlling others. It's being uncontrollable. This feels dangerous because they benefit from your powerlessness. Every ad you see, every opportunity presented, every system designed to keep you running, they all depend on one thing: your belief that you're incomplete, that satisfaction lives in the next purchase, next achievement, next relationship. Kill that belief and you kill their power over you. But here's the twist: you don't fight desire. Fighting is just another form of wanting. You don't suppress it, deny it, or pretend it doesn't exist. You do something far more radical. You watch it. Like watching a fire, beautiful, powerful, potentially destructive, but you don't have to throw yourself in. You can appreciate the warmth without becoming the fuel. Before I reveal this, you need to understand something. Every philosopher before Schopenhauer was trying to solve the wrong problem. They were trying to figure out how to get what we want, how to be happy, how to win the game. Schopenhauer was the first to ask, what if the game itself is the problem? It's like everyone was discussing the best way to run on the hamster wheel, and he was the only one who said, you know you can step off, right? But stepping off doesn't mean checking out. It means checking in to a reality that exists beyond the cycle of want and temporary satisfaction. A reality where you act from fullness, not emptiness. Where you create from joy, not need. Where you love from abundance, not hunger. The nice guy doesn't finish last because he's weak. He loses because he doesn't understand the game. He thinks being good means wanting nothing. But that's not goodness, that's fear, dressed up as virtue. Real goodness comes from seeing all your desires clearly and choosing which ones serve life and which ones serve suffering. It's not about being nice, it's about being awake. And once you're awake, once you really see the machine of desire running your life, you get to make a choice most people never realize they have. You can keep playing, but now you know it's a game. You can keep wanting, but now you want consciously. You can keep achieving, but now achievement is expression, not medication. You remove the mask, only to realize sometimes the mask is the power. So here's your homework, and it's going to feel like touching a live wire. For the next 24 hours, watch every desire that arises. Don't judge it, don't feed it, don't fight it, just watch. Watch how it promises satisfaction. Watch how it creates stories about who you'll be when you get it. Watch how it makes the present feel insufficient. Then ask yourself, who would I be if I didn't need this to be happy? Not don't want, don't need. Because in that gap between wanting and needing, that's where your power lives. That's where you stop being the puppet and start seeing the strings. That's where you realize the greatest trick desire ever pulled was convincing you that you were it. You're not your desires, you're the space in which they arise. You're not the wave, you're the ocean. And oceans, they don't chase, they don't grasp, they don't suffer from being exactly what they are. Comment below, I see the strings now, if this hit different. Because here's the final paradox, the one that would make even Machiavelli pause. The only way to get what you want is to not need it. The only way to win the game is to stop keeping score. The only way to find satisfaction is to realize you were never dissatisfied. You were just taught to think you were. Your suffering was never personal. It was programming. And programs, they can be rewritten. But if Schopenhauer showed you the prison of desire, Jung will show you who built it. And that's even darker. Because the builder, they're closer than you think. They've been with you since before you had words for wanting. They live in the shadows of your mind, pulling strings you don't even know exist. Next time, the shadow self, why you sabotage everything you love. Because seeing the trap is only half the battle. Understanding why you built it, that's where the real revolution begins. You don't flinch, you don't explain, you see through your own hunger. And in that seeing, you find something Schopenhauer only hinted at. Something beyond desire and satisfaction. Something that doesn't need a name because it doesn't need anything. It just is. Like you, beneath all that wanting, complete, whole, free. Even if you forget it tomorrow when the wanting returns. But now you'll know, it's just the old program running. And programs only have the power you give them. The game was always there. Now you can choose how to play.